We got over 5,000 pips from our last public swing trading video live done on YouTube, and that was all kind of while in and out of the country and on vacation. Not a bad way to be, even if I do say so myself. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we show you that trading is as easy as you make it on yourself. Or to quote Warren Buffett a little bit, I think he said something on the lines that is, it's easier than you think, but harder than it looks kind of concept, right? I stinking love that because that really encapsulates everything you could think of in terms of trading. Of course, before we get started, we have to go over our disclaimer that says everything on this channel, everything that we discuss, obviously is, not educational or investing advice. Everything you do is 100% up to you. My only mission is to help bring up the next group of people to show them that you can literally make freedom money, right? Just the kind of money where you can be who and where you want to be without all the restrictions in terms of the world or a boss or a job, no location restrictions because you're completely remote. So obviously I practice high risk, high reward trading. I do a lot of algorithm trading, but you can follow your own similar kind of smaller risk, lower reward styles and have just as much success, obviously, with practice and in time. Before we go any further, I do want to define that a pip is a pip is a pip. We know every broker has their own janky math that says, hey, this pair is worth this much, or this currency is worth this much, and this one does this much. This is how we define a pip on this broker. So for the sake of conversation, we are using Hugo's Way as a reference point. If you're unfamiliar with that broker or any of the other brokers I use, please do check the link tree. That's kind of my go-to that I trade the most on, I think, in terms of indices particularly, but also the majority of my actual manual trading is done on Hugo's Way. I do have a couple of others as well that I work with in my link tree and my bio. You can go in there, sign up for a demo account, costs you nothing, get to know different brokers, build a relationship with those brokers, and then stick with those brokers long term. That will give you a much better leg to stand on. But back to the value of a pip, that's where we're getting that from, just so that's kind of defined upfront and easy for you. Before we go over to the charts, we're going to make this short and sweet. There's not a lot tonight that I want to review. In fact, I was almost hesitant enough to say, hey, I think I'll wait till tomorrow morning to make this video. But to stay true to form and to stay true to this whole 2-week cycle kind of concept, plus I was out of the country last week, so I'm going to do it tonight and we're just going to use the ones that we do have available. So these are the trades that we're going to be reviewing. Oops, if I can do that right. These are the trades that we recorded live together on, technically that's July 26th chart time, but US time it was the 25th in the evening, obviously. Here's how those trades played out. AUDNZD never activated. It did pull back if you did take that as an active entry versus the pending, which is what we define. You'll notice that's 113 pips is where that stop loss would be in terms of structure plus the ATR pad, right? That's where that would be. And I want to keep track of stuff like that. USD CAD performed well. A lot of our trades performed really well. Euro JPY performed perfectly, like instantly. We just caught it right before the right move. Since then, of course, it's pulled back up. I would definitely keep my eye out on that pair. It's consolidating and pulling up as we speak, but I still think it has some downside potential. So we're going to go take a look at that. And then, of course, USD Mexican. This is a little misleading, kind of like any of this stuff. We know the value of these pips is a lot less, so this number is higher. Not higher like an index, which is worth a whole bunch more, but higher as in it's worth, I'd have to go check on this broker, but it's not worth as much in terms of dollars per pip. So just something to kind of at least throw out there in the sake of honesty and transparency. Before I move any further, I just want to show this in a public forum to say, hey, this is an experiment. I want to show you what's possible, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You don't have to have it all figured out to be pretty decent at this. You don't have to know everything, even if your eyes can't see structure. I do think you need some consistent management and you need some consistent lot sizing, right, and risk kind of concept. But other than that, you can make the majority of strategies work for you pretty effortlessly. And I do mean effortlessly. Like you can trip on a lot of success in this industry, which I think is, a double-edged sword, obviously. But needless to say, I think it's worthwhile to gain the skill set to buy back your time, buy back your freedom, right? We are on week, oh Lord, I should have done that prior to, but I did not. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is week 6, right? Based off of about 20 minutes a call. Okay, we have a little bit more than that. I've got kind of a janky math equation here. That's how much this time is worth per hour based off of the smallest lot size. Remember, that's going to be a little bit subjective, mostly because of stuff like this Mexican pair, but things like this really balance that out together. So as of right now, our average win to loss ratio is still about at 2.8. and our accuracy is a 95%. Now, I wish I could say, hey, I'm going to keep that all year long, but the truth is I'm not. It's not going to happen. It's going to go down, and that's part of trading. So it's easy to have that 100% GPA when you've only turned in 3 assignments. You give yourself a 4-year college career, your GPA, it's a little bit different, right? If you're taking, challenging things. So same concept here. The bell curve is going to definitely come into effect. We're going to somehow end up somewhere in those high 80s, hopefully low 90s area. And that's it. But this is the value of what this equals. So when I showed this spreadsheet, I pray you guys are realizing this isn't just a number of pips. Remember, the pips is a percentage of measurement, right? It's a move that we're measuring. But every one of those steps has a value. And the value of those is determined by the lot size you use, which of course, you can't just use a 10 standard lot size if you have a baby $50 account. You need to have some actual capital in there to have your equity be able to protect a trade like this. But yes, you can have a $10 per lot, per pip. And to give you an idea what that's worth, that's a lot of money, guys. A lot of money. But without further ado, let's go ahead. I do have one crypto on here. These are the pairs we're going to be looking at. We're going to review these, and then we're going to go over these as well. So let's go take a look at how those performed, and then we will move forward. Hold on, stop share. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, here are the trades that we were looking at. So we have this marked on our 4-hour trading experience. I did have to update my charts due to some update in some of my tools that I use. We've got this pretty well done. So these blue ones, these highlighted kind of bluish ones are the ones we looked at on the 25th-ish, 26th. And now these purplish ones are the ones we're going to be looking at tonight. So starting from the top left, we were looking for a buy in this range. We wanted that to be a pending order. We know that because of the dotted line. Of course, we entered this trade. It did consolidate for a long time. This is a lot of patience. That's 26 4-hour candles, right? That's a couple of days worth of trade. That's a couple of days worth of drama and nonsense and oh my gosh, what's going to happen? But if you have the wherewithal to hold, that's 300-ish, 316, 320, 330-ish pips. Definitely not a bad way to be. Remember, the value of this is about $7.45 per pip based off of a standard lot size. So without me getting out a calculator, you guys can do the math. That's a ton of money. One trade, one time. And yeah, you need to have an account that can handle a trade like that at a standard lot size. But you guys get the idea. So I'm going to remove this, remove all my objects. I'm going to take this off of our watch list and go to the next one. The reason we review these trades together, the reason I review these trades is so you can see next time I do a video like this, do I trust this trade? Do I like this trade? How did the last time that she called these things play out? I want you to see that with your own 2 eyes, the good, the bad, and the ugly, everything in between. But now we've got AUDNZD up real quick. Let's see, maybe. There we go. This is where we were looking. This is the 4-hour time frame. As you can see, we never come up to really activate on this trade. We don't get the continuation that we were looking for. It is what it is. I mean, we didn't have a loss, didn't have a gain. It is just real trading. Really was looking for this to buy anyway, so no loss. In my case, if you guys did take an active order, remember these perforated lines are meant to be pending orders. But your most recent is a 55-ish pips with the 4-hour cushion. You're looking at 75. And of course, if you're all the way down to here, you're at 82-ish plus your cushion, right? That's what you're sitting at in terms of where your risk would have been. Needless to say, no trade, no win, no loss. I'll take that any day. So I'm going to take this off of our list. WW, done. Next on our list of reviewing trades, check this out. This is perfect. We were following the original strategy. And that's one of the reasons I don't have a bunch of trades tonight is because I know some great setups, but I want to stick with the strategy to show you what's possible when you stick in a singular lane, right? One lane and just stick with something. But here's where we are at. We got our golden strategy right here. Perfect. We got the continuation and we took this trade. We got the continuation here. This one tanked. A lot of news-based nonsense. We got a boatload of pips out of it. It's like 390, 420. That is a lot of pips. I got in the high threes on this. I'm not quite, a little shy of 400 personally. As of today, we're pulling up a little bit, but I do think we have some more downside potential. So definitely track this trade. It's obviously not ready for a re-entry on the 4-hour time frame, but I still think it's worth your 2 eyes if you are actively trading. So that's your JPY. Easy peasy. Last but not least on our list is US Mexican. Here we go. Here's our structure. We come down, we stay within our cushion range. We stay exactly where we need to be. And even when we had this video, we said, hey, give this some room. You're going to need it. That's my personal approach to trading is I give things a lot of room. unless I'm trying to be an active trader and like really, really be on the charts, I give a lot of room. Active trading, scalping, a little bit different, obviously, but that's how I would do what I do personally. USD Mexican, again, 4,000-ish pips, 4,200, 4,400. Definitely not a bad way to be. Easy peasy. We looked in this range. We got this little baby mark here too. It wasn't ready, and we pulled back down again. So we got this a couple of times now, actually. Take this off our watch list. Now let's talk about this week. I moved pretty quick. We had a gentleman this morning in this morning's call, which was packed out. I'm super excited for the community and everything that we're doing there. But he was like, man, you move too fast. You know, my eyes are just catching up with what you're seeing, and you're on to the next screen. So bear with me. Pause it if you're not sure. But I just want to show you, and just pay attention to our little oscillator window down here. I'm going to zoom in, make it a little bit less ugly. These arrows are based off of the JGS, Jenny's Golden Strategy, right? It's nothing super proprietary. It's just really a basket of conditions all wrapped up. It's got 3 indicator rules wrapped into it, and then we have 3 consideration points that we consider as well, and then we take those. We don't take every arrow. Those are look at me places that we make a decision on if and when these other 3 considerations, also agree. But watch real quick when I just really quickly jump through this. I'm hitting the N key with some of my cool tools I have available. Not ready. Not ready. Not ready. This is going to be fun. I could do this I'm going to annoy you guys with this too long. USD-CHF, I think, has some more room to buy. It's pulling back as we speak right now, so I let this retracement continue, but we caught a whole bunch of that in our morning calls. We got a lot of pips. A lot of pips. Gold, I think big time frame stuff has a lot of sell pressure, but smaller time frame, I'm looking for those couple hundred pips to the upside. But 4 hour for what we're doing on these particular calls, not ready. So if I click through all of these, which I don't want to waste your time or mine doing, you're going to see that a lot of these, not ready. Not ready. Well, actually, the indices are all lining up very, very well. I did finally catch a little bit of that Bitcoin. Actually, it was Ripple. Bitcoin, I got knocked around on it. A lot of the cryptos are also setting up, but we got a big, big move on some of the bigger pairs. We're going to be really careful and mindful. As you can see, as much as I want some of these trades, they're not quite where I want them to be. So to stay true to our class tonight and our schedule, I want to go ahead and go over the ones that we do see. First thing I'm going to say is CAD Chef. I'm going to zoom out, make this kind of ugly. I think this has got some upside potential. It's not currently ready based off of our strategy. It is currently ready based off of a lot of structure, supply, demand, support, resistance, as well as some trend lines. But I'd like you to take a look at this on your own accord. That one is one of them, and there's a couple of others as well. But the trades that we're actually going to review tonight are AUDNZD, 4-hour time frame. I'm willing to call this one, as you can see, we're in neutral territory. And if I zoom in, we're lining up as we speak. So this is imperative. Oops, I did that this morning. Changed my color this morning. Better change it back. We have a whole color code too. So I really try to stay true to form. Attempt to. Gold. There we go. We got our golden line. Cool. We're looking for a buy at continuation. So I'm going to pop down some time frames just so I can see the bodies of these candles. So I'm looking for the buy at continuation. So you need to be mindful of what that actually means. You can set an alert here. You can set a pending order here, but it's going to be ultimately up to you and your discretion. So for me, I'm looking at a buy based off of the break of this structure. So first thing first, we're going to call a spade a spade. We're going to say, can this spring up and then take off to the downside? It stinking absolutely can. As you can see, we're barely retesting the 50 as we speak. So we have to be mindful of that. So the next thing I'm going to say is, please protect within 1 ATR. That's only 23 pips as we speak. So you're protecting within 1 ATR. If and when we get the continuation, I'm taking a buy on this. I'm going to put my pending order there at 07921. That's 107921. That's where my pending order is going to be sitting, and my alert as well. I'm going to be protecting within 1 ATR on the 4-hour time frame. My structure is going to be here or here. That's going to be ultimately up to you. I typically use quite a few fractals back, but for the sake of these calls, I haven't really honed in on 1 or 3 or 4 yet. 4 hours is a little tricky. I want to give it some room to breathe, but we'll see. Well, I have a little bit more time, I think I said, until we decide on that. But please do be mindful. You're looking at a structure. Ultimately, it's just structure. That's all you're doing. Look at the overall structure. And if you zoom out, you're going to see a lot of structure to the left. So Is this going to stress you out? Yeah. Can you come down and wick and make a spring? Yeah. But if you look at the big picture, we've got a ton of room. A ton of room. So even with that stop loss, that's only barely 100 pips because this is a slower moving pair. But we're looking to bring this up quite a bit of a ways. So anywhere from 100 to about, I'd say a little shy of 220 because I'm going to come up into this range. Not a bad trade whatsoever. So that's trade number 1. Trade number 2, GBPCHF. Notice how we do have our nice little golden strategy arrow as we speak. So I'm going to put this here. Actually, let me double check I didn't mess that up, and I did mess that up. I don't want to be sitting on the candle that we're on. I want to be sitting on that candle. I always do it on the candle prior to the one that we're on, right? But it's a little harder on the 4 hour because I want to be identifying where this is. Not there. Not there. Ta-da. Back to GBPCHF. I'm going to keep it here. Zoom out. Another line chart. You have the option of using that fractal. As your entry point, okay? Or of course, I'm going to use price. I'm going to use active price. So back to the candles. As we get the continuation beyond where we're currently sitting, I'm looking to buy. Again, if I zoom out and you look at the big picture, this has a ton of room to give you an idea of how much. If my target is in this range, and even if my stop loss is all the way down here, giving it plenty of room, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it much lower. My risk to reward is still a 2.5 to 1. So if you're trying to tighten up that stop loss and only using one fractal back to give you an idea, your risk to reward is an 8 to 1, 8.75 to 1. There is a ton of room on this trade. So definitely when it sets up, consider that as a possible buy entry on GBPCHF. Last but not least, I was a little hesitant. I know I'm not going to be calling a lot of the indices, although those are the ones I was looking at this evening. NEOUSD. So we're going to look at this as a confluence basket for a second. We know a lot of the other current cryptos definitely pushed up, right? I am not talking about the value of cryptos or the paperwork behind them. I know that's always going to be the next question all the time. I'm talking technical analysis, strictly technical analysis. That's it. That's all we're looking at. And so if we zoom out and we look at the big picture, currently we're pulling down a little bit. We can handle that. I'm going to zoom out. We are currently breaking above the 50 moving average on the 4 hour time frame, looking for price to go to the upside. So I've got 3 buys on the table. The spread on this is really wide, so I am not going to be putting a pending. I'm going to go ahead and put an alert. Again, I'm going to say that one more time. No pending on this one. I'm going to place a couple of alerts scattered throughout. And when that second one gives me my little ding dong on my phone, then I'll come and take a look and make sure I'm all good to go. Or of course I can take a trade from my iPhone if I need to, and my manager will take over as necessary. But I'd rather be present, particularly for these weird lot sizes that you're going to get on cryptos, especially depending on the broker. I know this trade is not available for every brokerage, but it was definitely worthwhile for me. So again, as we sit, this is about a 2.6 to 1. That's not quite the structure I'd be looking at. I'd be looking down here, especially given that this is a crypto. 1.6 to 1, not horrible, but I'd like to see this come up into this range, which gives us the 2.86 to 1. That's perfect. That's my ideal trade. Knowing that I'm going to scale out, trail out, make some different decisions in between, I'm good. Knowing that we have more room than that, I'm good. So, ladies and gentlemen, those are the 3 trades that I'm hoping that you're willing to follow along on a demo account, paper trading. Again, that costs you nothing. If you don't have a broker, please go to the link tree. I need to update that as well. But there's a plethora of different brokers in there. Hugo's Way, Henko, LQD. Gosh, I could go on and on. AFX has higher leverage, but it's still not my favorite. I hardly use them as much these days. They're just, for various reasons, they are a good, reliable broker. Never had any issues in terms of withdrawal, but still. I've got Hero. I've got quite a few. So please do make sure, I don't care whether it's mine or any others, go pick a paper trading account and just practice. Just consider taking some of these. It will hurt you. None of your account, none, 0%. And say, wait, maybe if I follow along these things, how will this have played out? Remember, we're still defining in terms of the stop loss, but in general, I'm using structure. Remember that no matter what, you're protecting within about 50 pips, right? We said 25 mostly because some of these pairs don't have a very big ATR, but 25, 50 pips and or 1 ATR. 1 ATR on GBPCHF is 32 pips. 1 ATR on AUDNZD is 23, and 1 ATR on NEO is 1.2 pips. That's going to mess up the numbers, that's for sure. But either way, you guys have that. Any questions, comments, or particular topics you'd like me to cover, please do place that in the chat. For everybody inside of our community, here in the next couple of days and weeks, we're going to be doing a compounding challenge that really leans toward the prop firm situation. I know there's a lot of controversy in terms of them. Yes, I do think a lot of them are pop-up, what are those called? Cash grabs, right? I think that is very true. So if you are considering doing that with me or with yourself, please pick a reputable company. FTMO has been around a long time, tried and true. No, they're not necessarily the best in terms of all the other conditions that these new ones are offering, but they're stable and they give you a set of data that is second to none. The kind of data that will help you change your entire trading, approach. But yeah, back to the challenge. We're going to be doing a compounding challenge where hopefully we get at least 10% of our group. That's my goal. 10% of people who can compound their accounts to 10, 20, 40,000, 100,000 is ideal. And or of course, pass the challenges. I don't care which one, just hoping to help that many people pass their challenges and or compound their account. So I'm really excited about that to come. And for everybody else in the community, thank you for all you do. Thank you for keeping the group up and running and everything as we transition and as we grow. I am so excited and blessed to be working with every one of you guys. And otherwise, I hope you guys have a beautiful Tuesday. I'll be back again on YouTube in a couple of weeks. Take care and God bless.